If you're over 60, listen closely. These 5 fruits, yes, fruits, could be silently raising your risk of serious brain and blood pressure problems, especially overnight. One moment you're fine, and the next, your speech is slurred, your arm won't lift, or your balance is gone. As a brain doctor, I've seen it more times than I care to remember. Not from cigarettes, not from a couch potato lifestyle, but from foods people trust without question. Fruit. Every day across the United States, millions of older adults eat fruit believing they're doing the right thing. And yes, many fruits are beneficial, but some, when eaten at the wrong time or in the wrong way, can nudge your brain and blood vessels into a danger zone. Today, I'll walk you through 5 common fruits that can quietly raise your risk of blood pressure swings, inflammation, and even strokes in vulnerable people, especially at night. If you or someone you love regularly eats bananas, pineapple, grapes, watermelon, or drinks fruit juice, this conversation might change and possibly save your life. Before we begin, ask yourself, could something natural you've trusted your whole life be working against you now? With age, our metabolism slows, our kidneys clear electrolytes differently, and many of us take medications that interact with foods in unexpected ways. Let's get you the full picture. Before we dive into these critical insights, I urge you, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please hit that button and turn on the bell notification. This is where we uncover health truths that are often missed by mainstream advice, specifically tailored for your well-being as you navigate your golden years. You won't want to miss a single one of our future discussions. Also, I want to hear from you. As I reveal these surprising facts, if what I'm saying resonates with you, if it sparks a realization or validates a feeling you've had, type 1 in the comments below. If you're still skeptical, or if you simply have questions, type 0 to let me know. Your voice matters more than you realize, and your feedback helps me make these discussions even more helpful for our community. Now, let's pull back the curtain on the very first fruit on our list, a common favorite that could be surprisingly dangerous. Fruit number 1, bananas, the nighttime blood pressure threat. Most seniors believe bananas are one of the safest fruits. They're easy to chew, high in potassium, and often recommended for heart health. But here's what most people over 60 are never told. A banana eaten at the wrong time, especially late in the day, can quietly become a trigger for a stroke while you sleep. Yes, really. Let me explain. As a brain doctor, I've treated hundreds of stroke cases, but the one that still haunts me is Mr. Leonard Hayes, a 74-year-old former auto mechanic from Atlanta, USA. Every night after dinner, Leonard had the same routine: a warm cup of tea and 2 ripe bananas. He believed he was helping his blood pressure and preventing muscle cramps. But one morning, his wife found him slumped beside the bed. His speech was slurred, his right arm completely limp. He had suffered a stroke in his sleep without a single warning sign the night before. The test results were alarming. His blood pressure had dropped dangerously low overnight, and his sodium levels were off balance. The culprit? Potassium overload from eating too many bananas in combination with his evening dose of lisinopril, a common blood pressure medication. The combination had pushed his system into a dangerous state. Low blood pressure plus altered electrolyte levels equals restricted blood flow to the brain. You see, as we age, our kidneys don't clear excess potassium as efficiently. Add to that the natural dehydration that happens overnight and a slower metabolism, and you create a perfect storm for a silent cerebral event. What begins as a healthy bedtime snack quietly becomes quite literally a ticking bomb inside the body. Worse still, symptoms often don't show until after the damage is done. Many seniors don't realize that too much potassium can slow the heart, weaken the pulse, and drop blood pressure to the point that the brain simply doesn't get the oxygen it needs. The result? Strokes, many strokes, and in some cases even cardiac arrest during sleep. Mr. Hayes survived, but not without consequence. He now uses a walker and requires speech therapy. His independence, his ability to drive, walk unassisted, speak clearly, was taken in one night by a fruit he trusted. Let me be clear, bananas are not evil, but timing, quantity, and your medication status matters more than you think. For seniors, half a banana in the morning is usually safe, but eating 2 or more in the evening, especially alongside blood pressure medications or diuretics, could set the stage for disaster. The scariest part? He had no idea he was putting himself at risk, and he's not alone. So, if you're eating bananas at night or taking potassium-rich snacks after dinner, please speak to your doctor, review your medications, don't let a well-meaning habit take away your independence, your voice, or your life. Fruit number 2, pineapple, the hidden blood thinner and brain bleed risk. And if you thought bananas were surprising, wait until you hear about a fruit that acts like a blood thinner, especially dangerous for those on heart medications. It's sweet, tropical, and quietly harmful. Pineapple. If you're over 65 and on heart or blood pressure medications, there's a fruit in your kitchen that may be doing more harm than help. Sweet, tropical, and beloved by many seniors trying to eat healthy, pineapple is often praised for its anti-inflammatory benefits and digestive support. But here's what you're not being told. Pineapple contains a natural enzyme called bromelain that can act like a blood thinner, and when combined with common medications, it can set off a ticking time bomb inside your brain. You might not taste the danger, but your blood knows. Bromelain interferes with your body's ability to clot. That may sound like a good thing if you're trying to prevent a heart attack, but when it goes too far, it can cause tiny, fragile vessels in your brain to rupture, especially if you're already taking aspirin, warfarin, Plavix, or other anticoagulants. Most seniors don't realize this, and the supplement bottle or even that innocent bowl of fruit salad won't come with a warning. I'll never forget Mrs. Helen R., an 81-year-old retired elementary school teacher from Seattle. She came into my clinic with a pounding headache, dizziness, and nausea. Her son thought it was the flu, but the CT scan told another story. A small intracerebral hemorrhage, a bleed deep in the brain. She didn't fall, she didn't have uncontrolled blood pressure, she hadn't changed her medications, but she had recently started drinking fresh pineapple juice every morning after reading it was good for inflammation. She thought she was helping her memory. Instead, she was making her blood too thin to protect her brain. We reviewed her labs. Her clotting markers were dangerously low. Combined with her low-dose aspirin and the daily pineapple, her brain had no protection when a small vessel burst. She lived, but she's never been the same. Her balance is off. She needs help showering. Her daughter now checks every food label in the fridge. Helen told me with tears in her eyes, "I wish someone had told me a fruit could bleed my brain." This is the kind of loss that isn't dramatic on the outside, but inside it changes everything. One bite at a time, one sip at a time, it adds up. So the next time you reach for pineapple thinking it's harmless, remember Helen, especially if you're taking blood thinners. Even a healthy fruit can quietly work against you. Okay, fruit number 3, grapes, sweet on the outside, silently harmful to the aging brain. And just when you think avoiding blood-thinning fruits is enough, what if I told you there's a fruit that looks innocent but floods your brain with sugar, feeding inflammation like fuel on fire? I'm talking about grapes, sweet on the outside, silently harmful to the aging brain. If you're over 60, chances are someone has told you that grapes are a healthy snack, and at first glance they seem innocent, small, easy to eat, full of antioxidants. But what many seniors don't know is that grapes, especially the seedless extra sweet varieties found in most grocery stores today, can pose a hidden threat to your brain, particularly when eaten in the evening. The danger isn't just the sugar, it's how fast that sugar enters your bloodstream. Grapes are high in fructose, and when consumed without fiber, protein, or fat to slow digestion, like during a late-night snack, they cause a rapid spike in blood sugar, followed by a crash. In younger people, the body usually handles this, but in seniors, this glucose roller coaster becomes far more dangerous. Spikes and crashes can trigger inflammation in the small vessels of your brain, increase nighttime blood pressure variability, and even contribute to the onset of silent strokes, tiny, symptomless events that damage brain tissue a little at a time. I'll never forget Mr. Harold M., age 76, a retired postal worker from Chicago, who came into me complaining of lightheadedness, blurred vision, and mild confusion, symptoms that would come and go, mostly in the mornings. He assumed it was just age or maybe dehydration, but after a brain MRI, we found evidence of multiple microinfarctions, small strokes that had gone unnoticed. As we reviewed his lifestyle, one detail stood out. Every night, he sat down in front of the TV with a large bowl of grapes. He said it helped me stay away from cookies. But in reality, those grapes, loaded with fast sugar, were quietly wreaking havoc. Combined with his pre-diabetes and blood pressure medications, they became a perfect storm for brain inflammation and vascular stress. Today, Harold struggles with short-term memory. He can no longer live alone, and his family has had to hire part-time in-home help, all from something he thought was healthy. That's the lesson. Even natural sugar can become a neurotoxin if consumed the wrong way at the wrong time and in the wrong amount, especially when your brain is more fragile and your metabolism slower with age.
And if that scares you, it should. Because the next fruit is one most people eat to stay hydrated, but it may be secretly draining your brain overnight. Let me tell you about watermelon, how it cools you down, and how it might be cooling your blood pressure to dangerously low levels while you sleep. Watermelon is the very definition of summer comfort here in the USA. It's refreshing, easy to eat, and feels harmless, even healing. For seniors, it seems like the perfect snack, especially after dinner. Low in calories, full of water, and gentle on the stomach. But what I've seen in my neurology practice has taught me a hard truth. For older adults, eating watermelon in the evening could silently set the stage for a stroke while you sleep. Here's why. Watermelon is over 90% water and contains an amino acid called citrulline, which naturally helps relax and widen blood vessels. That sounds like a benefit, but for seniors, especially those on blood pressure medications or diuretics, this can be a dangerous combination. When you eat watermelon at night, the vessel dilation it triggers, combined with frequent urination due to its high water content, can cause two critical problems while you sleep: dehydration and sudden blood pressure drops. Our brains rely on steady blood flow and hydration throughout the night. When we lose fluid and pressure drops too low, the brain doesn't get the oxygen it needs. That's when small strokes, silent ones, can happen. No dramatic collapse, just waking up confused, off balance, or with a hand that suddenly won't move right. Mrs. Lillian R., age 79 from Miami, was one of my patients who learned this too late. She had been eating a large bowl of chilled watermelon every night in July to stay cool. Her medications included a diuretic for heart failure and a mild beta blocker. One morning, she couldn't stand. Her speech was slurred. At the hospital, we found signs of a nocturnal ischemic stroke, likely caused by overnight dehydration and low cerebral blood flow. She had no warning signs, no chest pain, no shortness of breath, just a sweet fruit and a good night's sleep until it wasn't. Today, she uses a cane, and her short-term memory is fragmented. I thought I was being healthy," she told me with tears in her eyes. "I didn't know a fruit could do this." That's what makes this so frightening. It wasn't junk food, it wasn't alcohol. It was a simple mistake at the wrong time with the wrong body conditions. So yes, watermelon is hydrating, but timing, dosage, and medication interactions matter more than you think. For seniors, eating it late at night is like walking into a storm with no umbrella. And if you think that's unsettling, just wait until you hear about the last fruit. It's the one most people trust the most because it's labeled 100% natural. But inside the bottle hides one of the biggest stroke risks I've ever seen: fruit juices, the healthy choice that spikes your blood pressure and threatens your brain. We've all seen the commercials. A smiling senior sips a glass of juice, the bottle proudly stamped with labels like 100% natural, heart healthy, or no added sugar. It looks wholesome, safe, even smart. But as a brain doctor, I need you to know the truth. For many older adults, that innocent glass of fruit juice, especially when consumed daily, can quietly spike your blood pressure, damage your brain's blood vessels, and increase your risk of stroke, especially if you're already on medications. Here's why. Most fruit juices, even the ones labeled pure or organic, are loaded with concentrated sugars and natural fructose, often more than a can of soda. But unlike whole fruits, juices strip away the fiber, meaning that sugar hits your bloodstream fast, causing a sudden surge in blood sugar and blood pressure. For a younger person, the body can handle that swing. But for someone over 65, especially someone on beta blockers, diuretics, or statins, that sharp spike and crash can be dangerous, even deadly. I'll never forget Mr. Frank M., 84 years old, a retired postman from Ohio, now living with family in Dallas. He came to me complaining of racing heartbeats in the morning, flushing in his face, and dizzy spells. His family thought it was just part of aging, but I asked him one question that changed everything. "What do you have for breakfast?" He said, "A slice of toast and a tall glass of no sugar added orange juice, every day for the last 12 years. We ran tests. His blood pressure was swinging wildly in the early hours. His blood vessels showed signs of inflammation, and he'd recently had a mini stroke he didn't even know about. He just blamed it on old age fog." The reality was that daily juice was shocking his system like a caffeine jolt with sugar, stripping hydration and stressing his cardiovascular system. We cut the juice, adjusted his hydration and morning meal, and within a month the palpitations stopped. But the price of not knowing sooner? He now has permanent short-term memory issues and struggles with balance. I thought I was being healthy. I didn't know the juice could turn on me. That's the hard part. We think we're doing the right thing, but as we age, the body changes. What once nourished us can now harm us quietly, and labels won't warn you. That's my job. So if you've been drinking orange, apple, or cranberry juice every day without thinking twice, now's the time to think. The sweetness in that glass may be far more bitter than you realize.
By now, you might be feeling overwhelmed, perhaps even a bit scared, and that's completely understandable. You've just heard how 5 common fruits, even ones you've trusted your whole life, could silently raise your risk of stroke, blood pressure spikes, or brain bleeds. The stories of Mr. Hayes, Mrs. R., Mr. M., and Mr. Frank are stark reminders that what we assume is healthy can become a hidden danger. But here's the good news, and I want you to hear this clearly. You are not powerless. The food you choose today, yes, even at your next meal, can either fuel your brain's decline or protect it for years to come. The difference lies not in the pills you take, but often in the plate in front of you. This is why it's crucial to empower yourself with knowledge. If you found these insights valuable and you want to continue making informed choices for your health, please take a moment to share this video with someone you care about, especially an older family member or friend. The information we've just discussed could truly save a life. And if you have questions or specific concerns about your diet and medications, remember to speak to your doctor or a trusted dietitian. Your health team is there to guide you through these important adjustments. Now, let's pivot from what to avoid to what you should be eating. What foods truly protect your brain, balance your blood pressure, and support your body the way it was meant to? Let me show you what real brain nourishment looks like and how to stay safe and vibrant in your golden years. So, what should you eat to stay safe and thrive? When Margaret W., our 73-year-old patient from San Diego, came to me, she was frustrated despite her drawer full of supplements and reliance on fruit juices for energy. She felt dizzy, her blood pressure was unpredictable, and her thinking felt cloudy. "I'm doing everything they say to do," she told me. "Why do I feel worse?" We sat down together, cleared the unnecessary supplements, and restructured her nutrition around real foods, simple ingredients her body could recognize and handle. No magic superfoods, no fad diets, just consistent, balanced meals designed for how the aging brain and body actually work. Margaret's breakfast, for instance, transformed dramatically. One boiled egg, clean protein, easily digestible, providing essential amino acids for brain repair and function. Protein helps stabilize blood sugar. Half an avocado, healthy fats, crucial for brain health, supporting cell membrane integrity and reducing inflammation. They also keep you fuller longer. A slice of whole grain toast, or a small piece of cooked plantain or yam with moderate portion. Slow release energy. Complex carbohydrates provide a steady supply of glucose to your brain, avoiding the sudden surges. The fiber is also vital for gut health. A handful of blueberries or other local berries like strawberries or blackberries. Brain-protecting antioxidants. These tiny powerhouses are packed with polyphenols that combat oxidative stress, protecting your brain cells from damage and supporting memory. A glass of room temperature water. Gentle hydration. Proper hydration is fundamental for brain function, blood pressure regulation, and overall cellular health. Within just 2 weeks of making these simple shifts, Margaret told me her mind felt clearer than it had in years. The dizziness faded, her blood pressure steadied, and most of all, she felt in control again. Here's what I want every senior to know. Your body at 70 doesn't process food like it did at 40. You don't need high doses of isolated nutrients, you need balance. You need consistent, gentle hydration, real fiber, natural fats, and stable nutrients, not sugar bombs, not superfruit powders, not miracle claims in a bottle. Some of the safest and smartest brain foods for seniors include leafy greens, like spinach, kale, or collard greens, rich in folate and antioxidants, essential for cognitive function and protecting against age-related decline. Aim for a generous portion daily. Fatty fish, like salmon, sardines, or mackerel, which is widely available, packed with brain-saving omega-3 fatty acids. These are vital for reducing inflammation, improving brain cell communication, and supporting mood. Try to include them 2 to 3 times a week. Berries, like blueberries, raspberries, or even some local, less sugary fruit varieties, known for their anti-inflammatory polyphenols which help protect brain cells and enhance memory. Nuts and seeds, especially walnuts, almonds, and flax seeds, excellent sources of vitamin E, magnesium, and healthy fats. These nutrients support cognitive function and protect against oxidative stress. A small handful daily can make a big difference. Whole grains, like oatmeal, quinoa, or brown rice, help regulate blood sugar and improve traffic within your body. Their fiber content supports digestion and a healthy gut microbiome, which plays a huge role in brain health. Margaret still eats fruit, but now she does it wisely, with timing, portion control, and full awareness. She told me, "I didn't have to give up food, I just had to give up fear." You have that same power. What you eat now shapes how you think, walk, remember, and live years from now. It's not about restriction, it's about reclaiming control over your health one smart choice at a time. You now have a powerful understanding of how seemingly innocent fruits and common dietary choices can profoundly impact your aging brain, and more importantly, how you can proactively protect it. This knowledge isn't meant to scare you, but to empower you. You have the power to make informed choices, to protect your independence, your voice, and your life. Remember, it's never too late to choose differently. By understanding these truths and applying the principles of balanced nutrition we've discussed today, you can transform your health and ensure your brain remains strong and clear for years to come. I'd love to hear from you now. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life in the comments below. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to all of us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more health insights like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms, with a sharp mind and a healthy body.